Hey folks, this is Tracy with Scrappy's Rustics. In this video, we're going to make a sexy, romantic Halloween piece. I have this foam skull here. I think I got it from the Dollar Tree. I'm not exactly sure. We've got some decoupage queen papers. 0283 and 0301 are the paper numbers. You can find them on our website, scrappysrustics.com. 0283 0301. I have two of these wood ovals. I have no idea where I got them. I wish I could remember because I would love to get some more. They're kind of a cool shape and a good size and a decent thickness, about a 1/2 inch thick. So I have two skulls and I cut one straight in half. Now you can see this one has a lot more bumps pronounced. I spray painted it, and I basically, by spray painting it, kind of melted the styrofoam. But I thought that was kind of cool because when I decoupage it, like, all of that texture should show through. So I painted one coat of Wise Owl, Snow Owl, all around the edges. I wasn't sure about what color to do the edges until I got everything else on there, so I just went with the white all the way around to start. Plus, it's good to have a lighter coat in your background when you're decoupaging, so it gives it the true color. So I decided I wanted to decoupage this piece on the skull itself. I had no idea what I was doing or how I was going to do it, but I knew that I needed to get all the white straight border off. I had a little trouble there with my water pen, so I grabbed another one, and I'm just fussy cutting it. It's just a fancy word for a non-straight line. It just gives you a more natural look when you do go to decoupage it down instead of a straight line. So yeah, here I thought I could wrap the whole thing. Yeah, that didn't happen. So I started out by cutting it in strips. Oh, look, she got a bonnet. It looks like she's got a visor on her head. So I ended up going smaller strips, and I will let you know the little trick that I did learn after I did a few of them. I am using Pentart Varnish Matte. If you like matte, trust me when I tell you this is the best product as far as being matte. It's all around great medium. Sorry for any noise in the background. I am currently voicing this over, and we're in the middle of Hurricane Ian. We're safe, but we're still got the whole night to go. So I apologize. I'm trying to get in the quietest room in the house and the safest room, but I can still hear the rain pelting and the wind humming. So it is Pentart Matte Varnish, and it is very matte. I've tested a lot of brands and I love it. So I just ended up doing strips and making my way around. You can see I was having a little hard trouble getting it to actually stick down, but I solved that problem after I got into a few pieces and I figured out the best method. So I'm just ripping the pieces as I go. Ironically, in the end, it kind of looks like a cranial, like his skull, the way the lines ended up. So if you're going to do a piece that's curvy and kind of awkward, what I noticed is, or what worked best for me, is if I put the decoupage glue on the paper itself, it made the paper much more soggy, because the styrofoam, obviously, it was so lumpy and bumpy, it wasn't really staying as wet as I needed it to. But by applying the medium to my, oh, I didn't switch the screen here. Whoopsie. Sorry about that. We're just going to have to watch it this way. Applying the medium to the paper itself definitely made a difference. All right, so now we're going to put our decoupage paper on our oval. As you can see, it is not long enough, so I'm going to fussy cut the bottom of this. And we're going to end up, I thought I was going to piece in the bottom, or I was going to kind of do some paint blend, but the craziest thing happened, you'll see here at the end, with our bottom piece to fill in. Couldn't have been more perfect. So I am just sizing this up because it's really just about exactly the width of the board is exactly the width of the paper, so I had to get it just perfect. So I'm just pulling it back, putting my medium down so that way I can anchor my piece and not have to reposition it and try to fight with it while it's wet. You know it's in the right spot to begin with by just peeling it back and anchoring it down. And you'll notice when I do this, when I peel it back, I don't do the strip closest to my paper till last, because you don't want your paper to sit there soggy, you know, while you're putting your medium down on the rest of your surface. Again, I'm still using the pen tart matte. Now, I don't have to waste it and use it underneath my projects. I definitely don't need to do that, but it was already there. The brush was already wet, so I used it. But if you want a matte finish over your project, it's definitely... My fingers were so full of glue and the pen tart. You have to literally peel it off your hands. You can't really wash it off. It's kind of cool when it peels off, though. So I'm just taking my little sander gator here and sanding off the remaining paper so we can get our shape here. And this seriously could not have worked out any better. I love this paper. I think it's just beautiful. I love the grays and the blacks and the whites. It's just so pretty. So I was going to piece it in, and then ironically I was like, oh, wait a minute. Well, this might fit. How about this side? So, I mean, it shows there's a tiny, tiny bit of white on each side of the outside, but you can barely see it. And this ended up working. So it was perfect. And there's two pieces where it kind of like a smile. I didn't realize because I was just going to cut it straight across, but I ended up going up with it. And you'll see here after we sand it, I discovered this, and I really think it blended nicely like it was part of it. I'm just showing you there is a tiny bit of white that's going to show through, but no big deal. We end up fixing that with the stamp pad in the end. That's always a good trick. See right there, I was like, oh, wait a minute. That looks good. I'll leave it. So instead of going straight across to matching it up to the other cut, I just left it rounded like that and glued it down. And it really looks like it's part of the paper. So that was a seriously happy accident. And I love it, love it, love it, love it. So I went ahead and put an entire coat of the pen tart varnish matte. We do have that available on our website as well. And I ended up letting the skull dry overnight because when I put a lot of product on it. And when you do, sometimes this product gets kind of pulled up in some of the crevices and it needs time to dry. It'll look purple, but it totally dries clear. That's if you put a lot on, and I put a lot on the skull, so I did let it dry overnight. And now I decided I was going to paint the sides black, and then I thought, okay, I'll dab black paint all around the edges to make it look like a frame, but that didn't look so good, so I just left it, and we fixed that later. So I didn't really want to decoupage the eyes. I had enough left to do it, but I just thought it was too much, so I just took some Wise Owl black paint, which we sell on our website as well. Chalk synthesis paint. So I just painted in the eyes, and it ended up coming out pretty good. See what I mean? How it looks purple? His bottom of his, I have so much product on there that it was just pulled up in a lot of the spots. So it did totally dry clear. But yeah, it'll look purple for a little bit. You can see his skull part is dry, the top part, but the bottom part is not. And here we go. So I decided to take the ink pad and just edge it all out. Just brings everything together. It hides our little bit of white paint where the paper was a little bit short. So tiny bit short, but it worked out. I love it. It looks like one whole piece of paper. I was really surprised at myself because I'm usually not good at blending stuff like that. I just try. I just try. And I ended up putting a hammer type sawtooth hanger in there. I sanded off the over excess paper from the back of the skull. That is Totally Dazzled Jewels. I have an affiliation link with them. All my affiliation links can be found on our website at scrappysrustics.com in the menu area. Unfortunately, the camera does not pick up the sparkle, but they are so sparkly. They're rose gold. I'm flipping these around. They're the same exact, but oddly enough, there was one position where they sat in there correctly, and I ended up with 3 points of contact. 3 pieces where, the power just flicked. 3 pieces where I could actually glue part of the Totally Dazzled into his eye sockets there. So that worked out good. And I picked him up with tweezers because it was just hard to handle, and put glue on there and get it back in there. Oh boy, the wind is picking up, y'all. The wind is picking up. So I'm just holding them there. And I decided a little bow on her head would be perfect. Of course, on that, the way it was, there was only 2 points of contact. So I put some Titebond Quick and Thick on the middle of the bow and a little bit of hot glue on the side. My hot glue gun was acting all crazy, so it took a minute there to get it out. And it didn't want to stay, of course. I had to tape it. I taped it for a good I don't know, 30 minutes, and then the type on setup. If you're looking for a type of cream style glue, an all-purpose glue, Type On Quick and Thick is an excellent product. It does exactly that. It sets up really quick and it's thick, and it's just a great all-purpose glue. That's what I use for all my molds. So now we're gonna glue our skull to our surface, and I'm just putting this wood skewer here, so for placement. So I know when I turn around and once I have all this glue on here, I don't want to be moving it all over the place. I just want to kind of be one and done. So I'm just spreading it all out, and then I go around the outside with a little bit of hot glue, just a little string, because I was afraid it was gonna. I mean, if the spray paint melted the styrofoam, I can imagine what hot glue would do. So there we have it there. Be sure to visit our website at scrappysrustics.com. If you enjoyed this video and inspired you, I'd love you to share, like, and comment. To see more, follow me both on Facebook and YouTube, and be sure to turn on the notifications for both so you'll see when new videos are uploaded. And there she is. I love her. The sparkle doesn't show up, but she's sparkly. Trust me. I love it. She's sexy and she's romantic. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.